All pit and cement work, curb angles, bumper posts, conduit, and electrical installations, as well as the materials for the same, are the responsibility of the installer or building owner. For a pit installation, a minimum 2-inch conduit installed in the pit floor or wall is recommended for allowing the hose and wire access to the lift, and a drain should be installed. 5 minimum 18 AWG wires or an appropriate hard service cable are required between the power unit's control enclosure and the lift's frame. These wires, the power unit's disconnect, and the branch circuit overcurrent and short circuit protection are the responsibility of the installer or building owner. The installation must be made so that it complies with all the regulations applicable to the dock, the lift, and their location. The installer or building owner must verify that the supplied equipment is installed so it will be suited to the environment in which it will be used, and it must be mounted onto and anchored into suitable concrete where it will not be in the way of cross-traffic rollover. If this is not possible, contact factory for cross-traffic rollover options to prevent damage to lift and vehicle. The installation of the dock lift must be performed by suitably trained personnel with access to the appropriate equipment. The electrical aspects of the installation should be performed by an electrician. Installation will require the following tools and equipment: a lifting boom with rigging, a fork truck with adequate fork length and capacity, or some other appropriate hoisting means to remove the lift from the freight truck when it arrives and to set the lift into place. The model's weights can vary from 2,800 to 6,700 pounds. Concrete anchors, a masonry drill, a masonry bit, hand tools, grout, and steel shims. Consult the building's architect or facility engineer to determine the best size and type of hardware with which to anchor the lift to the dock approach. 1-inch mounting holes are provided. A power supply circuit and disconnect matching the motor voltage and current requirements. Refer to the labels on the control enclosure and to the electrical section in this manual for more information. For pit-mounted units, check that the pit conforms to the pit diagram. If the unit is to be placed into a pit, the required electrical and hydraulic connections to the dock lift should be made before it is set into place. Mount the power unit in the desired location. The standard 8-foot hose will allow the power unit to be mounted immediately adjacent to the lift. For mounting in other locations, a longer hose will be required. Use an 1/2-inch SAE 100R hydraulic hose with at least a 3,000 psi working pressure rating. Using an appropriate wiring method, connect the power supply to the power unit's motor relay. Verify that the motor supply voltage is the same as that shown on the machine data plate located on the middle of the right platform side. Also verify that the correct control transformer primary leads are connected to the power supply at the motor relays terminal. Remove all steel strapping and shipping materials from the lift. Do not remove the lifting eye bolts. If the lift is being pit mounted, guide the hose and the wires or cable into the pit, such as when a pit conduit is present. When lowering it, use care to avoid damage to the lift's internal electrical and hydraulic components from the underside. Remove the rigging hardware. Connect the 1/2-inch hydraulic hose between the power unit and the lift's frame. First, either flush or blow out the hose and fittings if any contaminants are observed inside them. Install a jumper wire from terminal 3 to terminal 4 in the power unit's control enclosure. Verify that the overload relay setting matches the motor's full load amperage at the selected supply voltage. Use the pendant control to raise the platform high enough to allow the Scissor dock safety maintenance stops to be placed into the frame. Use the manual valve on the power unit to lower the platform so the leg set rests on the stops. Push down, turn the manual lowering valve blue knurled knob, and release it to open the lowering valve. Push down and turn C to close it. Remove the jumper wire between terminal number 3 and terminal number 4. At both the lift's frame junction box and the power unit's control enclosure, Connect the 5 18-gauge wires, including the grounding wire, to the limit switch and toe guard circuit wires. See the electrical diagram in this manual. Close and secure the control enclosure door and put the plastic cover over the power unit. Verify that all the electric toe guard sides and corners drop down and move freely, and that the switch in the middle is not actuated. Raise the platform to a height of 68 inches measured from the bottom of the frame. Adjust the upper limit switch arm, mounted on the non-bridge end of the frame, so that the motor turns off at that height. Bleed the cylinders following the air bleed procedure at the bottom of the power unit operation page. Afterward, remove the maintenance stops and lower the platform using the pendant control. Hold the down push button for several seconds after the platform is lowered so that any air in the hose will be able to more easily migrate to the reservoir. While lowered, check the platform for proper lowered height or that it is flush with the ground if pit mounted. Raise the lift, install the maintenance stops, and lower the leg set onto them once again. Anchor the frame to the floor through each of the two 13/16 inches holes located near each frame corner. Shim and/or grout under the full length of the frame sides. Remove the maintenance stops and operate the lift through several full up-down cycles. Verify that the upper travel limit switch, mounted in the frame, and the toe guard switches around the perimeter of the platform function properly. Check the hydraulic oil level. It should be filled to within 3 inches of the top of the reservoir. If oil is needed, use an anti-wear hydraulic oil with a viscosity grade of 150 SUS at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, ISO 32 at 40 degrees centigrade, or a non-synthetic automatic transmission fluid. Clean up any debris or spilled oil and verify that all of the warning and safety labels are intact.